Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for The Walking Dead Season 5. And what I'm going to do today is a video of the sneak peeks that were shown. One was on Talking Dead, the other one has been released on the internet. Basically, there are two sneak peeks about the next upcoming episode, which is called Remember. And I'm basically going to be talking about what I saw, what I heard, and some things that may indicate in the upcoming episodes. This will contain spoilers because I will be making reference to the comics when I do this, as there are a lot of things from the comics that I feel will be related to this. So if you don't want to be spoiled, if you don't want to know anything, please do not watch the video or else you may be spoiled. Okay. So the first sneak peek, which was shown on Talking Dead, deals with the group members, coming into the gate of the Alexandria safe zone, and the gate closes, and basically Aaron is standing outside with a man named Nicholas, and they're basically telling Rick's group that they need to hand over their weapons as there's no weapons allowed inside the community. In the sense that you're just not allowed to carry a gun when you're walking around doing stuff. Now, for anybody who's a fan of the comics, Nicholas is a big comic book character. He is a resident of the Alexandria safe zone. He has a wife and a son. The son's name is Mikey. I'm blanking right now on the wife's name. She only appears every now and then. But basically, Nicholas in the comics is not very friendly towards Rick's group, and vice versa. You see that there's basically a lot of differences that they have. One of which is Carl and the son Mikey end up getting into a fight when they arrive at the Alexandria safe zone, which makes Nicholas very upset that this was happening. And also Carl, showing Mikey his gun in the comics really didn't set the best impression with Nicholas. So they get off to a little bit of a rough start there. And I'll be very interested to see what they do with the character. Again, I don't like spoiling too much unless somebody asks me to. I kind of want to stay in the now or kind of a little bit, predictable into the future. Like, I think there are some storylines with Nicholas that they will incorporate maybe into the storyline, but possibly not until season 6. So I kind of don't want to spoil too much from the comics. You obviously can feel free to read them or go to Walking Dead Wiki. They have synopsises of each one, or just send me a video topic request if you want to know more about Nicholas and his story. I'll be glad to do a video for people who want to see one. So they go in there and they meet up with Nicholas and Aaron, and they're saying they need to turn their weapons over. And Rick's like, no, we're not doing that. We're not comfortable yet. They said, and Rick's kind of like, if we wanted to use the weapons on you, if we wanted to shoot you, we would have done that as we just walked in. I mean, come on, man. So, they're trying to get everything, sorted out between the two groups because obviously they understand each side, why each side would want to, hand the weapons over as well as not hand the weapons over. So Aaron tells Rick and the rest of the group about a woman named Deanna, and that they should talk with her. And he offers to let Rick go in and talk with Deanna first on his own. Very interesting. This is a very big moment for at least, again, comic book readers and television watchers alike, because I'm assuming that Deanna is the leader of the Alexandria safe zone. And one of the things is that there's a big difference between the comics and the TV series. In the comics, the leader of the Alexandria safe zone is a man named Douglas, who was a former congressman when the world was, not zombie apocalypse. He was a congressman who ended up going to the community and was leading it. And Douglas is married with a wife named Regina and a son named Spencer. Now, obviously, this leads to a lot of questions. One, is Deanna the equivalent of Douglas in the TV show? Because we've seen several times where characters from the TV show are different from ones in the comics in several respects. I mean, there have been times where they have changed the gender of a character, where Dr. Stevens is a man in the comics, he's a woman in the television show. We've also seen times where they have distinguished between like different races and characters. You know, Bob is a Caucasian male in the comics. He's African American in the television show. You've also seen times where they have, again, they change the circumstances of age or gender in the comic books from the TV show. Like Billy and Ben, the twins, are basically the equivalent of Lizzie and Mika. Carol in the comics is a younger woman, whereas here she's more like someone in her early to mid 40s, it would appear to me. So there have been several times where they have traded a character for somebody else. And that's not uncommon. So there is a chance, and we don't know who Deanna is. I have not heard any casting in regards to anybody other than Aaron. So I don't know who the actors are that are playing Eric, Nicholas, Deanna. I don't know who they are. And that may be a surprise, or that may be something that they revealed this week. Or it just might be that they're not, I'm not going to say that no actor is necessarily more significant than others. I guess, I mean, you could say that, but I guess what I mean is that it may not even be like somebody big. It might just be someone like Ross Marquand that we really haven't heard too much about him. I'm not too familiar with him, and he's not really a household name. But I definitely think that he did a very, very good job in the last episode. Definitely a great addition to the cast. And usually they do add great cast members. And Deanna perhaps may be a woman from, maybe her mid 40s to early 50s, because Douglas was about in that age range. And that would make sense, to have her be a little bit of an older woman. She may be a congresswoman, or she may just be some, maybe some other position in life. She may have been an attorney, she may have been a doctor, she may have been a, minimum wage worker. Nothing wrong with that, okay? Only some things in your previous life can really have an impact in the later zombie apocalypse. I mean, obviously doctors are going to be needed, no matter what kind of a world it is, but other jobs may not necessarily bear on what you do when a zombie apocalypse happens. So she could be anybody, and I'm very interested to find out more about her. But I did think that that might be a possibility, that she may be the equivalent of Douglas, or there's a possibility that maybe she's she's the wife of Douglas. There may be a possibility that there may be a character named Douglas in the community. It is possible. Regina, the wife in the comics, is not necessarily the most central character, so they could change the circumstances and have Douglas and Deanna. That's a possibility. Do I think it's as likely? No. I think that they would have introduced them both if there was a Douglas. I think they would have talked about him as well, but we'll see what happens. The other thing I was thinking about, in regards to who is playing Deanna, I thought about something. We know that there's another actress that is going to be appearing this season. It was announced a while ago, Alexandra Breckenridge. She's a redheaded young lady who's playing, she's known for playing on American Horror Story. She was the younger version of the maid in Murder House. And then in Coven, she was the witch that Hank, the character Hank, was having an affair with. I can't remember that character's name. But that is something that I've seen her in. And we know that she's going to be appearing in this upcoming season. I thought, when I saw that they were talking about a woman named Deanna, doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be older. Could mean that she's younger. We have several younger characters that are leaders in themselves. And again, it may be possible that Deanna may have a political background. That is very possible. And it may be that Alexandra Breckenridge is not playing another character that we thought she might be playing, and that maybe she is Deanna. That is a very good possibility. And I think that it'll be very, very interesting to see who Deanna is. Um, but I think that she will be a leader of the community. And it'll be very interesting to see the type of leadership that she portrays. Because Douglas, he's not a bad leader in the comics. I just think, and I thought about this, he reminds me in some respects about Dawn, somewhat. Not necessarily as manipulative, but one of the things that is very similar to Dawn and Douglas, comparing the two leaders, is that Douglas and Dawn were both individuals that were willing to look the other way in respect for the greater good. Dawn overseeing that some of her officers were being abusive towards the patients, overlooking that because it was for the greater good. Whereas in the community, Douglas sees that, there are problems going on, but he doesn't address them. And I don't want to get into that too much because I have another video coming up on this. So stay tuned and you'll understand where I'm going. Where I'm going with this. But Douglas is also the kind of person who really looks the other way. But he is also somebody that could be worked with. And I think that Deanna, I think is willing to work with these people, willing to incorporate them into the community. And it's just going to be very interesting to see the dynamics that come with the group. What kind of a leader is Deanna? Because the fact of the matter is the community is relatively safe. They have the walls. They have a good system going. They have supplies. So they seem to be doing pretty decent. And Deanna has some idea of what's going on. What I'm more interested in is seeing how introducing a character like Rick, who is, known for being in control and having to maybe relinquish that to Deanna, how's that going to play out? We only can wait and find out. So that's what I have for the one sneak peek. I'll quickly do the other one because there really wasn't much to it. It was really Carl going into one of the houses, pulling a knife, and then going to go open a door. There were two thoughts that I had with this. One is that it's just Carl being safe. It's his instinct, to go and check a house. You pull the knife to make sure that there's nothing going on. It's just instinct. It's what he's been taught. And, maybe one of the characters will come up behind him and be like, "What are you doing, Carl?" And he just goes, "Making sure it's safe, man," That's a possibility, that it may just be a simple scene, but it may also be, something going on in that house. He may have heard a scream, he may have heard somebody shouting, and he's going to go check it out. Or it might be that he's going in to see Mikey. We may get introduced to the character of Mikey in the next episode. And, maybe Carl. This may be a chance for us to look into Carl a little more because we've seen that he has tendencies, throughout the series to act, in a violent manner in a way, like harkening back to when he shot Jody. And I don't think that he's necessarily, that bad now like he was before. I think the time that he took to be a farmer and to be, to take time away from being in the front lines like he was in season 3, I think has made him a better character and a better person. But I often thought, does Carl, as a kid, does he still act, a little reckless or immature? We have to wait and see. But like I thought, maybe he pulled the knife because he was afraid of, Mikey as a character. Perhaps Mikey's a bully. We don't know. But, I thought that maybe there might be a situation where, he might end up, causing a problem, causing some kind of argument. Maybe the fight is between Mikey and him, and maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that he might be going to, confront Mikey, and he's just being careful. Again, there are many possibilities, but I think that maybe it's more of the first thing that I said, that maybe he's just being safe, going through the house, making sure that there's nothing out of place, and that's just what he's been taught to do. So that's what I think is going on. And with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. Again, the sneak peeks are available on YouTube. If you just type in Walking Dead Remember sneak peeks, you will be able to see them. And they're very interesting. They definitely make me excited for next week. And I am very excited to see what the Alexandria Safe Zone has to offer. So I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank you all for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you guys have any suggestions that you would like to see in the upcoming weeks, just let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you very much.